I just uploaded that last video titled I squatted every day for 1,000 days. And I'm watching it and I'm thinking to myself, man, I wonder if this is the sort of film that plays in your mind as you're laying there, taking your last few breaths. It's just incredible to think so much time has passed and then you have a 13-minute video summarizing all of it. Of course, it's not a summary, far from it. You would need 50 PhD reports to summarize somebody's 3 years. I'm thinking about history, his story. You watch docos, you read books, and you see people interpret certain events in history, pivotal events in our history, modern, ancient, and you think to yourself, man, is this a good representation of what happened? I had an editor do this video. I just picked the soundtrack. Obviously, I was telling him what I wanted, what I didn't want. And even that process, I found it very difficult to convey what I really wanted, a vision. How do you describe a picture? How do you describe a feeling? It's very difficult. And the fella that I was in communication with did an excellent job. I'm not sure if he wants to be identified or not. I didn't really ask him that, but he did an excellent job. I want to thank him for that. I mean, this is the sort of video that it would have taken me freaking months, if not years, to do, and I simply don't have the time to do what he did. Clearly, he's really good at what he does. That's his thing. That's not my thing. Very happy how the video turned out, but it kept me. The overwhelming feeling is it's a story, but it's not the story. The story is a long-winded one. And even though we've kind of managed to summarize in 13 minutes, 1,000 days, it doesn't, not that it doesn't do it justice, but the emotional response is like, man, I went through a lot. I went through a lot, and I think about all the things that I've been through. Some of this stuff I've spoken about. Some of it I've kept private. It's just remarkable. A lot of you guys have said to me, Ivan, why don't you write a book about the journey, whatever, it doesn't have to be anything extensive, just write something. And this is not the time in my life for me to sit down. I've got young kids, man. I don't have time for that sort of stuff. I'm very, very busy in my life, especially with the training. One day the training will stop. The extent of and how much I'm pushing, the exertion won't be the same. Maybe then I will sit down and try to summarize, but even that kind of saddens me because even I cannot tell my story well. I'm not an artist. I'm not a writer. I'm not creative. When you see a really nice movie, when you see a really nice story, a documentary, really the reason why it's nice, they could be talking about freaking grass growing or paint drying, but it's the art of conveying a message, a feeling. And that's special, man. It's special. People that have that artistic side are special. They should be celebrated. This is why artists, you name it, which ones, music, film, whatever, they're special, man, because they can convey emotion, they can convey thoughts through simply pushing a brush on a piece of paper, piece of canvas. It's very, 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 very impressive. And even though this process, the making of the video, it took us a while. This fella doesn't know me. Lives on the other side of the world. We were just exchanging text messages, this and that. I just sent him links of videos that I found on YouTube, which is kind of what I wanted, but not really what I wanted. He came back, 1 draft, 2 draft, 3 draft, 4 draft, 5 draft. It's like the more I was doing it, I'm like, I don't really know what I want. I don't know what I want. How do I don't know the art. If I could take the guy and put him in my head and be like, see, so this is what's happening in my mind, he would understand, but it's very hard to do that. it's a very, very difficult process, and it's probably the only time in my life that I've tried to kind of tell somebody, you know, I've never built a house in my life. I've never gone to a architect, but it's like that kind of stuff. I've got a feeling of how I want to live, but like, how do you, can you understand me, man? Like, make a house that I love. Well, what do you love? Well, you know, it's very difficult. And so watching that video, I enjoyed it. And each of those scenes that I see, each of those days, you know, I think to myself, yeah, I remember what happened on that day. I remember what happened on that. Now, you guys that are watching it, a lot of you guys would have followed me very, very closely. A lot of you guys not so much. But somebody completely new will come into that video and watch it and be like, oh, where's the progress? Oh, there's no muscle. What's the point of this? And just like that new guy watching my video, I might be that guy listening to history about World War I. I read a book, I watched a documentary, all of a sudden I'm an expert. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about what really happened in World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria. I don't really know. Not only are you at the mercy of the creator of that video, of that document, of that paper, but you're also at the mercy of your mind's interpretation of that person's mercy. So it's kind of like very, very hard. And it's something that I've been thinking about a fair few times over the month or whatever, two, that we've been doing this project. And just makes me think. It makes me think what it looks like as you grow older, as you're 50, 60, 70, 80, as you see some of the people that I see every single day at work, you know, sitting there, unable to move, very, very sick, basically, as we call it, circling the drain, you know, just quality of life is just so poor. You know, the systems, the organs are failing, and they just sit down. I'm like, you got nothing else to do but to think and replay the film of your life. And I just wonder whether that film is kind of similar to the video, where you just like snippets. And the way that memory works is very interesting. We don't exactly remember the intricacies of what really happened. What drives our memory is how we felt. How did you feel during those? I don't quite remember what he said to me, man, but I remember being upset. I remember how he made me feel. Feelings are engravings in our memory. And watching that video obviously elicits responses from the emotional center, right? Like I've made many videos, man. Many videos. I've talked a lot. And it was really cool in a way to see it summarized, but it's also kind of a hollow feeling knowing that a lot of it was left off the table. But that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Time flies, man. Appreciate all of you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.